Hey y'all, welcome to the Black Link Experience with Phases After Dark, you guys. So we cannot let this day go by without, giving our little 2 cents on what happened at the Diddy trial today. It was chaos, chaos, chaos. It was explosive things going on inside the courthouse, and we are here to talk about it because we here for it. So let's talk about it in the chat. I'm gonna give people a few minutes. I know y'all heard it all, but we gotta tell our side the way we tell it. So join us, say hi when you come in, hit the like button, and let's talk about it. Give me about 2 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, I'm gonna get the link, Harlem, so you can come up. I'm not gonna show face today, and that's just because um I've been with my husband, he's sick, and so I just wasn't prepared to come on camera, but I'm prepared to talk about this tonight. So let me get this link so I can invite you up. Hey everybody, thank y'all for stopping by. Hit the like button and let's talk about what happened today. Um, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about it. It's crazy. Crazy. All right, so I put the link out there. I hate not showing face for y'all, but it's I had emergency in the family, just wasn't prepared. Just wasn't prepared. Hey Harlem.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, hanging in there, hanging in there.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
I ain't expect to see you.
I know. I was like, I cannot not let this day go by and not do nothing. And he's resting. He had his shower and resting, so I'm good for a minute. But
Okay.
yeah, so let's get into it. Like, so we know, like last week they were trying to finalize, the jury selection. It didn't happen. It spilled over into today. They made their selection, and the first witnesses came, opening statements came. I'm seeing all over social media where it was just chaos out there, just chaos. But just about every is that Beauty? It's me. Hi, Beauty. She came. I'm seeing where bloggers was out there, YouTubers, all kind of people was there, which was to be expected. So anyway, the jury pool was selected, and from what I'm told and what is being reported, the jury selection is made up of a few black men, a few black women, an Indian guy, Hispanic woman, so kind of really mixed up, a mixed jury. And so we'll that remains to see. That remains to be seen how this is going to turn out. There's an older Caucasian lady that is on the jury, so it's a mix of people. Um, and so we're excited about this. Let's get this on the road. We did see his family come into the courthouse today, locked hands, came into the court, sat on the second row of the courtroom. Diddy, of course, threw them a heart with his hands. They smiled at each other, and they were there for the duration today. His mom was there, and all his kids except for the youngest one, of course, was there. um and so let's get started. So of course they opened up, the prosecutors opened up. Of course, Diddy is this bad man, he's an abuser, he's this, he's that, and they bring their first witness. The first witness was the former security guard at the Intercontinental in Century City, where Diddy abused Cassie. We all saw that on the video. And this former security guard was the guy that came on the scene with other workers. He said that he received a call, and on that call, it was a woman's voice, but in the video, he could only see P. Diddy in the video. So he thought he better go up there. When he got up there, he saw a broken vase and dirt and flowers everywhere, and Cassie had a purple eye. At that time, he said that all Cassie really wanted to do was leave. He wasn't there for the fight or anything, but he did ask Cassie what she wanted to do, and she just wanted to get her things and leave. He told Diddy that he would be, he said that he saw Diddy with the towel wrapped around him, told him that he would have to check out pretty soon, but that the charges for the vase and everything broken in the room, whatever, is going to be charged to the room. Then he says Diddy flashes money to him, and the money was to say, you didn't see nothing, like, take this money, you didn't see nothing. He said he didn't take the money. Diddy, also a co-worker was with him. Diddy snatches the phone out of his hand and says, "You recorded me? Like, were you recording me?" They was like, "We weren't recording you." So this former security guard was like, he tried to take his phone, and he kind of hemmed Diddy up and was like, "Nah, we ain't doing that here." And so anyway, eventually Cassie gets her things, and they say a black SUV pulls up, and she drives away. And so he gets yeah. Okay. So the security guard says that, I took a lot of notes, y'all. Security guard says that he took videos. Like, he said that no one was going to believe him. So there's 5 videos, and the security guard has 2 videos of this happening. And so he said he did that because he wanted his girlfriend, he wanted people to say that there's no way they was going to believe what he was telling them if he hadn't recorded it. Here's the sad part about it, and then Harlem, you can jump in, and because I'm gonna pause right here, and then we can keep going. There was a lot of talk in this room, in this courtroom, about SA behaviors, like very detailed things that happened with the second witness that we're gonna talk about. Very detailed information about what went on with Cassie and this escort worker and Diddy. And the sad part is that his kids were there. That was like, I'm like, they have to sit in that courtroom because they want to support their dad, but they're going to hear a lot of stuff. And I'm just wondering, how are they going to take this? Because this is just the first day, and it was juicy. Like, they talked about a lot of stuff, and they continue to run that video back, right? They didn't just play the video once and then they slowed it down, and they talked about every little bit and piece in that video. So the first concern was that they got to sit in that room and see their dad abuse and beat and disrespect a woman. What do you think about that, Harlem? I'll let you jump in real quick.
Yeah, I think it's a bit much. I don't think that the girls should be there because I just feel eventually it's going to be talk about their mother.
Yeah.
Eventually it's going to be talk about the abuse that their mother went through. And I just feel like girls, to me, their father is always their hero.
Uh-huh.
So,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have a hard time, accepting. I mean, they have to know some things,
Yeah.
but it's like it's just too much.
Yeah, so we know about a lot of this stuff because it's out there in the open for people to know. But when you get into the trial, there's going to be very detailed information that they're going to have to talk about. And I think a major part to almost crush my heart is when they're going to talk about their mom, because I've heard lately that I'll be sure is going to be testifying, that was subpoenaed to testify. And I think one of his, and not I think one of his concerns was that he doesn't feel like Kim Porter died of pneumonia. Like there was foul play, and they're going to be talking about this. And these kids are in this courtroom, and I know they're adult by age, but I mean, like you said, especially girls, like the boys, they can probably take it a little bit better. They're men, they hang out with their dad, they see a lot of things, right? But they've kept the girls pretty sheltered. And I feel like that's heavy information. That's some heavy information to give, to have to sit and swallow, with these people testifying and giving their truth or whatever. And the prosecution is not going to be nice. They don't care that those kids are in there. They're there to do a job. And so they're going to be
Right,
asking these questions, right? And these people got to answer these questions. And so that was my heartbreaker for today. Knowing that they're
right.
going to be there and seeing them have to sit there and reporting. People that were inside the courtroom is reporting that when they were literally inside the courtroom, and when the videos played, the girls tried to look just straightforward and not look at the video. But how can you help not to glance over there or kind of take a look at what's going on and you sitting in that courtroom?
Yeah, but it was said that they stepped out twice. Like they didn't go out and stay out. Like they went out just for a couple of minutes and came back and
Uh-huh.
then went back out. So I think like maybe
Probably
at
needed a
some
break.
point they probably should have stayed out for like maybe 10, 15 minutes and
A
not have
little
gone
longer.
back so
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah. So, and they probably needed to step out. Like, I gotta just take a breather, right? It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's gonna be a lot more. Like, this is only day one, and it was heavy. It was heavy. So
Yeah.
anyway,
But can I just say one thing?
yes, please do.
So about the hotel, did you get the note about the guy, the male that was in the hotel room?
So yeah, let's talk about that because the security guard, the former security guard, talked about the fact that there was a black guy in the room,
In the
but he
room.
never in his reports or anything. There was a lot of stuff that wasn't in his reports that he's saying today, but he said there was a black guy in there, but he really didn't talk. He was dressed in black, maybe, but
Yeah.
he wasn't saying anything. So that's just the gist of what I got for this guy, this black guy being in the room. Like, I'm wondering, who is this black guy? And also, was there not a security guard in this room or outside the room that kind of tried to be a little aggressive with the security guard? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that, but see the whole thing, the defense is saying that Cassie um took his phone, that she saw other women text messages or whatever in his cell phone, and she took his phone and that's why she was leaving. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I per se want to believe that. Yeah, I understand men get upset, when you take their phone when they doing dirt and what have you. But I
Well,
don't know if it would go to the extreme of that
right.
for a
I
cell phone.
right. And here's the thing about it. Kathy's gotta testify. And I think she comes on tomorrow and probably will be on there a couple of days because she's about to bust any day with her baby. But they talked about Cassie today, right? And I'm with you. I don't believe that it was this detrimental for him to do that. But now, according to, you know, everybody around him, he's aggressive. And any little thing will tick him off. And so the security guard did say that he didn't seem to be under in the influence of anything. But if you listen to everybody that was around him, most people around him said how aggressive he was. So let's just say she took the phone and that pissed him off, right? So now she get to get her butt kicked because of that. They also talked about so before I skip to that, so I'm with you on that. I just don't believe that it was about a cell phone. I don't know, it wasn't there, but I just believe it was more to it because I believe that there was somebody in that room, like that man said, and maybe Cassie was like, "I'm done with this. Like I'm not trying to do this. I want to get away," and it popped off like that.
Right. Right.
So I
That's what
don't.
I'm thinking. That's what
Yes.
I'm thinking because the security guard said that he didn't put that in the report. I understand, you missing details and what have you because these are celebrities that you're dealing with. You know,
Yeah.
um, he said that the guy wasn't involved in the altercation in the hallway, so he didn't mention him in the report. I could
Yeah.
understand that.
And to his defense also, uh like if there's times that I've been on this live and there was stuff I should have said, and by the time I got off I missed it. I was like, dang, I should have said that, or dang, I should have did that, so it wasn't that, as though, like, I don't feel like he missed that stuff on purpose. It's when you go back and because he didn't see the video till the next day, so he did make some changes to that. But I'm saying that there's some things that he probably still, when he got off that stand today, said, dang, I should have said this, or I should have said that, because in the moment you don't think about that stuff. And then you're talking about P. Diddy. Like, I'm standing here in the midst of P. Diddy and his altercation, and this really happening. I got to record the stuff so people believe me that it even happened. So, there's a lot of reasons for why he probably missed a lot of stuff, but
Right.
that lawyer of Diddy's did not give him a break. He did not give that security guard a break, and we're gonna talk about it. So anyway, she said she wanted to leave. A black uh SUV pulled up. She gets her stuff. She takes off and leaves. So he was saying that he was telling Diddy, I'm thinking about calling the police. Like, I should call the police. I don't know, when he saw her eye was black or purple, whatever he said. I don't know if it was that opportunity then to call the police, or he felt like it was under control. She just wanted out, and I'm gonna stand here until she go out. And there was a discrepancy when the defense came up, because they said that he said that Diddy told her to just leave, and then he's saying today that he was like, she ain't leaving, she ain't going nowhere. She wanted to leave, but she ain't going nowhere. And the lawyer was like, yeah, but I didn't see you, that wasn't in your incident report either. So there's a lot of stuff that he's saying today that was not in the incident report. Uh,
Right.
yeah. So then there was the cross examination on the security guard, and Brian Steele comes up, and he just kind of brings the heat, right? This and with Brian coming up and going at him like he did, like, at this point, I don't know if this is a slam dunk for the state or for the feds. The prosecution, I don't know. I think that they're going to have to bring their A game. They're going to have to bring what they said they were going to bring, because these lawyers he got, they ain't playing. So anyway, it said that he told the Brian Steele was like, it's very odd, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's very odd that you remember all this stuff today, but like none of this was in your incident. How you remember today what happened 10 years ago, but in the moment you didn't remember to put this in your incident report. And they said that the former security guard kind of started getting irritated, right? And he was like, you said you was gonna call, like why didn't you call the police? You saw a woman in distress, but that wasn't in your report. She was in distress, she had a purple eye. That wasn't in your report. You walked in, there was another person in the room, and you didn't ever say anything about this person. That wasn't in your report. You said you strong armed Diddy. You kind of, because he tried to take your phone, but then in your incident report, you say you grabbed his hand. He said, no, I did. I'm saying I strong armed him, held him, and then I grabbed his hand. He said, but you know what? That wasn't in your incident report either. So he kind of ate his lunch, you know. And then he was like, you said that Cassie wanted to go home, but Diddy wouldn't let her go home. But that wasn't in your incident report. So you said Diddy basically said she wasn't going nowhere. Did he say she wasn't leaving? She couldn't leave, or did he tell her she could go ahead and leave? Then he said Diddy had a towel on, checkout time he was ready, and he had to pay for the damages that he had. And he handed you, opened the door and had a handful of stack of money and tried to hand you the money. But you told him, you told him that he has to pay for the damages. So he trying to pay you. See, this is how the defense is playing, right? He trying to pay you for the stuff he broke, and you ain't taking it. Well, we don't take cash. But yet he said, here's this money, take this money, don't say nothing, you ain't seen nothing. So I don't know. And so he said, so how are you calling that bribery? You tell him that you want him to, that he's going to have to pay for this. He trying to pay you cash for it. But really, was Diddy doing that, or was really Diddy bribing him, saying, listen, just take this money and go. You ain't seen nothing. Then, so after the lawyer goes through all of these scenarios that he did not put in his incident, he ended with kind of like, I rest my case. After he said, how are you calling this bribery when you told him you had to pay, he has to pay for the damages, he's paying you. I rest my case, I have no further questions. But then the prosecution comes back and was like, hold on, can we play this video back? And let's start at certain marker, right? And what the marker shows is Cassie going to the elevator, and then Diddy running behind her. We all seen the tape, right? Diddy running behind her, snatching her by her head, and then doing what he did to her. And then the prosecution said, does this look like somebody saying you can go ahead and leave after, he snatched her, beat her, drug her back where he was instead of allowing her to leave? Does this look like somebody that saying go ahead and leave? I'll rest my case. So the prosecution and the defense are on fire. They came to fight, and it's going to be a battle for the entire time they are here. The interesting part for me is going to be tomorrow when Cassie speaks. I can't wait to hear from her. All right, I'll hush now, Harlem. What you got? What you got?
So, he didn't want to take any money, I'm figuring, from Puff because it got to go through the front desk.
Right.
The transaction is going to be added on to the expense of your hotel incidentals.
And that's
so
what
you trying to give it to the security guard. Yeah, it looks like you trying to pay him off hush money, not to say anything to anybody, not knowing that the man done already copied him a video on his phone to take home to show his wife because the wife wasn't going to believe him.
Mm-hmm. And I don't believe that Diddy was trying to pay him for the damages. Like that's not what it was for. And this is
No, that was hush money.
it was for you to take this and shut up and go on. You ain't seen nothing. And
Right.
but you know, of course, the defense got to paint that picture, right? In order to make it look like Diddy was trying to do the right thing. So
Right.
anyway, it's crazy. It's again, it's a lot. It's just the first day. It was a lot. So then the escort gets on stand. He gets on the stand, and here's the other sad part because now here's some details coming out, and the kids are there. They talk about Cassie choking on his urine. So Diddy is making him, well, he said that Cassie asked him to urinate on him, right? But she begins to choke off of urine. Now, these kids are in there, and he's in the corner doing whatever he is for himself, pleasuring himself. And he talks about how Diddy tells him, not to let himself go yet. It's not like it's too early or whatever. And Cassie pays him. So he wasn't expecting, he's expecting a couple $100. And they talked about in detail, very detailed about what went on in that room. So it's crazy. He was just saying that he had to pretend that I don't know how to put this without it getting in trouble, but he had to release himself in Cassie. And then once he released himself in Cassie, then they go in the room and do whatever. And there's speculation. I did hear Mim say what his speculation was on why they did that. But again, I think my just concern are the kids. But you know what, Harlem, we're talking about the kids, but they're going to hear it anyway. I think that they're going to hear things anyway. So why not get stuff firsthand so that they know what it was true and what's not? What do you think about that? Because that's a hard call.
I think that they have been exposed to some things, but this to me is just the extreme. But then, like I was telling somebody earlier today, I'm looking at them as normal kids, but they not normal.
No.
They're celebrity kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I say, they've been exposed to things because the alleged thing with Christian on the boat,
Yep.
they were on the boat.
The girls were there.
The whole family was on the boat.
Oh, I didn't realize. Well, so what I thought is that
Yeah.
they had
Yeah,
been.
so that's why I'm thinking that they may have been exposed to some things, but not like to the extreme of what they're gonna be exposed to here.
Yeah. And I think that they've been sheltered around the information around with their mom. I think this is going to be the bone crushing thing is if they're in that room and they start to having that conversation about what went on with their mom. And I don't know. I don't know. But you're right. I'm sure they've been exposed to some things, but I feel like those girls have been really sheltered. The boys, their brothers are very protective of them. Their daddy was protective of them. So I I don't know. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I just could not let this day go by. Of course, and we're probably gonna be here every day. But as long as he's feeling good. But it's just gonna get even juicier. But tomorrow we're for sure gonna come back because we're gonna listen to what Cassie has to say, and she has a lot to say. She got years and years of things to say, first hand knowledge, right? What makes me nervous about it, I mean, the truth is just can't be. I mean, when you come and tell the truth, ain't no cross examination and nothing else going to take you off your rocker because you know what your truth is, right? But it's said that the defense is going to eat her lunch. But I don't see how when all she has to do is get on that stand and tell her truth. And I think that'll take precedence over whatever they're trying to pull off. We know that he's not on trial for the stuff that he did to Cassie, other than there is a kidnapping charge. And they're saying the kidnapping is for not letting people leave on their own will, free will. You know, I think that the arson thing will be a hit. I think that, they can probably prosecute him on that. But I think that Cassie's testimony tomorrow and however many days they have her on there is going to be the big deal. Um, have you heard anything about witness number three? Like, she surfaced? I know the last that I heard before all this happened personally in my family, and I had to kind of back off, is that she had went MIA because she was scared for her life. Any updates on that, Harlem?
No, I haven't heard anything. I'm trying to figure out because it's Cassie is a victim too. That's going by Jane, and then it's a former employee that's going by Mia.
Yeah, is that the assistant?
Now,
Because
see, because it's saying employees, so I don't know if it's the assistant or is it somebody else.
they're saying there's going to be an assistant that is going to testify that he kind of pulled his private out and tried to come at her, and she wasn't interested. And she fell asleep on the couch, and he ended up, from the back, getting her while she slept.
So they did say assistant because I thought it said
Yes.
employee. So if it's an assistant, I have my suspicions on who it may be.
Yes. So what I heard, the latest that I heard on that was an assistant was the one that was not interested, and he kind of forced himself when she was asleep on the couch. So I don't know if it's employee, assistant, but I heard assistant. So I guess that remains to be
Okay.
seen too. We'll see about that.
Because if it's an assistant, then I think it may be Capricorn Clark.
Could be. Could be. Ooh, could be Harlem.
If it's an assistant, that's who I think it may be because around the time frame that they're going back to, I
Uh-huh.
think she was the assistant at that time.
Capricorn Clark. It very well may be.
The victim too, I'm trying to figure out who that is because in the opening statements they were talking about he was dealing with her up until at least 2023. He had went to her house and they got into a fight and he kicked in doors and whatnot and whatever and he wouldn't repair it and stuff. I'm trying
Right.
to figure out who that is.
Oh no, I'm fixing to do some. I ain't going to sleep. I'm going to be sitting there. I gotta know now. Like, I need to know. Um, that's crazy. That is crazy. We'll see though. Just like they said, these Jane Does, you're not gonna know who they are. You gotta know somebody gonna know who they are, and it's gonna be spilled. So we'll know. But
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, there was a ton of people there. Make It Make Sense was there. What was his name? What's his name? I like Armand. I think that was
Yeah,
Armand.
Armand was there.
There.
Tisa was there. Tisa Tells.
Yeah, Tisa Tells was there. Jaguar Wright was there.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of people there, and I figured it would be like that. And did you go there?
No, I didn't, and I've been debating about,
It's
about
just so
going.
many people. Like they said, they had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning just to get in line, and still was number 50. Like I just don't. I don't know.
Right, and
For
that's
me, I'll
why,
just wait to hear, the live tweets and stuff and put some stuff together and go live
and
after.
that's why they have the mind sitters that they've been hiring. Have
Uh-huh.
you seen them?
Yep, I
They
did. Yep.
hire them to hold their place in
Yes,
line,
yes, that's what
so
Armand
you
was
just
saying.
show up whenever.
Yep, that's what oh no, that was making make sense saying that they had some placeholders that was standing out there for them. I mean, I could do
Yeah,
that. Like if I could hire me some people to stand in line for me and just when it's time to go in, let me get my spot. I would do that.
right.
But standing out there, going out there at 2 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah,
oh no,
being out there all night because there were people actually online from 5 o'clock yesterday evening.
that's crazy. That is
Hmm.
well. we'll be back here tomorrow. And we'll pick up where we left off tonight. Just to see what's gonna happen tomorrow. So y'all meet us here again tomorrow. Harlem, thank you for everything that you send me. And then I hope that you're free tomorrow. I do have an interview to do at 6:30, I believe. And then after
Okay.
that, we go live right after that. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. And thank y'all. Please hit the like on the way out if you haven't already. Thank y'all for stopping by. A few people came by tonight, Harlem. So that was good. That's good. All right. Y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Good night.